y'all, what's up? Curly Head Killer here, and it has been a really long time. I took a major break from YouTube, kind of sort of from Instagram. Yeah, I'll say from Instagram, considering like how I've normally been on Instagram. I look kind of a lot of different since the last time I was up here. My hair is black, it's big. I feel like it's gotten like a lot longer since I was here last. It's like really growing. So, but this is just like an update video of where I've been, more importantly, where Elijah has been, because everybody's been hitting me up, asking me. For those of you who do know, he spent a part of the summer in Texas. For those of you who had bets going of how long he was going to last, I think he was there for 2.5 weeks. Let's just round it to 3, just to, you know, just to say 3. I'm basically just gonna let y'all know, let y'all in on what's going on. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know that Elijah has alopecia. He had one, I think I've only mentioned it maybe like once before. He's only had one episode, and I think that was like 3 years ago. He had like a really small patch in the back of his head. It was maybe like the size of a dime. And then it grew back. It wasn't really much the doctors wanted to do with it because it wasn't super severe. They figure it's stress induced. This year he got a, I think like around the same size, same spot, a like dime size back. I think like March, April, he got a bald spot back here, and I think by like June it had grown to a quarter size. I didn't panic too much about it. I didn't worry about it too much because, like I said, he had one a couple years ago. It grew back on its own. It was fine. By the time he came back from Texas, it had doubled in size. He was starting to get another one on this side, and on the top of his head, it was probably like a square. It was starting to thin. You could see like where the 2 bald spots were kind of coming in. And after that, it just kind of, it almost seemed like it just skyrocketed. Something that had taken like months and months and months to kind of start, it just within a week, his hair was falling out nonstop. And looking back, he went through like a lot of changes. And around like March, April, we were kind of, his dad and I were gearing up and preparing him to kind of get in the mindset, obviously, that you're going to be in Texas with daddy, and getting him to wrap his head around the idea that like, that means you're not going to be here with mommy. I think like around that time is probably when he started to like internalize different things, because he was really excited about going. But obviously mama's boy, it would kind of be, well, like, oh, I'm so excited to go. And then it'd be like, but I don't want to leave you. So I think for him, it kind of was like a situation versus just kind of like this thing, right? And then, so he goes to Texas, and obviously he misses me, and he kind of wants to come home, and but he's having a good time with his dad, and you know, kid stuff. He did end up coming home, I want to say like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks later. He came home on a Sunday. I left to go on vacation on a Wednesday, and I think that kind of really made it spiral for him, because it kind of felt like, I'm home, I'm back home, and now mommy's gone. And so what does that mean? Does that mean that now she's going to be gone for 3 weeks? And I think it really kind of spiraled for him, because like I said, within the week that I was gone, it really started to spiral, and his hair was coming out like really rapidly. I got back on a Thursday or Friday. By Tuesday for his doctor's appointment, his hair was gone. There was patches here. He had like a couple just like legit like strands of hair by between that legit Friday having almost a full head of hair minus these like 2 major spots to Tuesday not having any hair. am going to do everything I can not to cry. But it was coming out in chunks in the brush. It's literally the most traumatic thing I think that I know that I've ever gone through in my 27 years of being on this planet. And it was more traumatic because if it's this traumatic for me, I'm just imagining, you know, when he's taking a shower, watching his hair just kind of go down the drain like this. It just was too much. Like, my hands started shaking. I'm obviously like crying out of control. Like, I'm legit having a breakdown because my kid's hair is coming out in chunks in my hand and I don't know what to do about it. And trying not to break down in front of him because I don't want to freak out because I don't want him to freak out, but he's already freaking out. And it just was really, really, really sad is probably the best word to use for it. It's really sad. We went to the barber shop and his dad went with them and they got bald heads together. His dad decided to get his head shaved bald too to make Elijah feel better about it. And he enjoyed the haircut. He enjoyed it. It was just like, okay, like, yeah, gonna get a haircut. And so the doctor has given him a topical treatment, a steroid, and that was the beginning of August. He started that. We've gone back since then, and they have started him on an oral steroid because his eyelashes and his eyebrows are also starting to fall out as well. His hair is actually pretty like prickly. Like, you can look on his scalp and see the hair coming through, which is a really good sign that his hair may grow back. I'm not sure what it means with whether it may like intensify again and then kill off the hair because his eyebrows and his eyelashes are falling out, which is why they've now started him on the oral steroid, which will basically do what the topical treatment is doing, which is basically trying to communicate to his immune system to stop. And so now the pill is going to do it from the inside out and they will work obviously in conjunction to hopefully get his immune system to stop attacking his hair. So it's kind of a waiting game. It's really, really, really uncertain. You just don't know what it's gonna do, if it's ever gonna grow back, if it's never gonna grow back, if it's just everything will completely fall. We just really don't know. It's legitimately like a waiting game, trial and error kind of thing. And so now the step after the medical stuff obviously is tackling the emotional stuff, the physical stuff of kind of getting him to come to terms with like, this is your new normal. And you're talking to a kid we have both been curly head killers for the, last 6 years. To him, he's looking at pictures and he's looking at me and he's, like, I would hear him in the shower, like, I just wish my alopecia would go away. And it would like break my heart so bad. I'm not gonna cry. But it's been really tough this last month, and I think my strength has come from him and seeing him get more comfortable with it. And so we would be out and he would be like, oh, look, he's bald too, and like, look, he's bald too. His dad has been really, really amazing. He started school this week, and so a couple of kids kind of like had made mention about him being bald. And we had conversations before school started. If you don't want to explain to people what alopecia is and what's going on, you just tell people you just got a haircut. You just got a big boy haircut. And so that's what he would do. He would just say like, oh no, I just got a haircut. And so that's what he did at the playground. But then, when I picked him up from the first day of school, he was like really excited. He had such a good day. It was great. And then when I asked him like, well, did anyone mention anything about your hair? And he's like, yeah. I could see him shut down. And he felt some type of way about it. And so his dad and I had a conversation with him about it, and his dad just told him, like, hey, if you think it's cool and you like it and, you know, you're okay with it, then that's all that should matter. And, you know, he was like, do you like your haircut? And he's like, yeah, I like it, you know. And so a couple days later, I guess they had the same kids, made another comment about it. And I asked him, did it bother him? And he goes, nope. Daddy said, if I like something, then I like it, and that's the end of it. And he was completely fine. And so seeing that kind of energy is making me feel like I need to keep that same energy. I did this video because I just feel like I share everything with you guys as far as, you know, me being a mom and the things that we've done, and you know, whether he's reading, what's going on at school. I feel like to not include this part of my journey as a mom would be unfair. Because it's a part of my journey. This was the first time in 6 years that I knew what was going on. I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't know how to stop it. I didn't know how to remedy it. I didn't know how to make my baby feel better. And it was really, really, really difficult for me. And it's still kind of difficult for me because it's still so uncertain. It's still so, you just don't know. But like I said, his energy is making me keep the same energy. And so I just kind of want to focus on like maintaining his self-confidence, because it's there. He's very much like, it's fine. And his personality is so big that the kids really don't care and they really don't notice. And he doesn't really care and he doesn't really notice. And it's made me so incredibly proud of him. And I'm also aware that like there's stuff that we go through as moms that like we need support, and this may very well be another thing that like another mom is going through. It just didn't seem fair to me to not share this part of my mothering journey, because I have so many women who come to me and feel like I've totally got it together. It's fine. And this is the time that I did not have it together. I think like 2 weeks ago, I accidentally posted him on Instagram on my way to the park with my niece and nephew, and I had a legit 45-minute nervous breakdown. I had a panic attack at Mount Trashmore in the parking lot. Thank God all three of them were asleep. And I think part of it was because we had just gone to the doctor, and the news just wasn't really hopeful. It just was kind of like, yeah, it might not grow back. The rest of it might fall out too. So kind of prepare yourself for that. And I hadn't had a second yet to like process that information. And so I think when you're going through something and you don't have answers or a solution, you're just kind of like in this space where it's just like, well, this is going on. It can be really scary, and it was for me, not having answers and not being in control. So that's where we've been at. That is what's going on. Like I said, he's fine. He's great. It's just a haircut. We're back. We missed y'all. So if y'all have any questions about alopecia itself or remedies or anything like that, I have no answers. But you can hit me up anyway. But yeah, so we're back. How do you like it?
Good.
Yeah?
My favorite.
It looks pretty dope, huh? Yeah.